כמה שעות שנדבר בלי שכל וגם בלי דאגות, עוד כוס עליי, עוד שתיים אולי, התחלנו.
חברים יקרים של שלום תוקומן, ברוכים הבאים לשידור השבועי שלנו. ברוכים הבאים לשנה העשירית שאנחנו איתכם. תהנו.
את מוזמנת לקפה אבל אפשר גם בלי.
תמיד כולם קראו לך הזהב של השכונה, אבל היום שלי בכל המדינה, תגידו
מי הכי יפה בכל העיר?
עונים לי היא הכי יפה שאני מכיר.
אוקיי, כולם! כל סופה
Amigos de Shalom Tucumán, bienvenidos a este momento de encuentro semanal. Bienvenidos a los primeros 10 años de nuestro envío en el canal 12 de CCC. Una ventana abierta del judaísmo para toda la provincia de Tucumán. Disfrutemos juntos de este momento.
כל סופה שאת מגיעה לפה, כמו הדבש שאת מביאה מתוק, ואם תתני לזה לקרות, הלילה זה אני ואת, והחצוצרות.
Bueno, los que saben dicen conmigo la braja, los demás dicen al final amén. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher kideshanu b'mitzvotav v'tzivanu le'adlik ner shel Chanukah. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam she'asa nisim laavoteinu bayamim hahem bazman hazeh. Y juntos decimos Sheheyat. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam sheheyanu vekimanu veigiyanu lazman hazeh. Bueno, muchas gracias por una vez más estar con nosotros y acompañarnos, y nuestro reconocimiento a todos, a los que hicieron el esfuerzo, a los que guiaron, a los que se sumaron con los vehículos.
מאליו ומתמלא, כל העם אז התכנס והכריז אך זהו נס, אילולא כת זה נשאר מקדשנו לא הואר, אילולא כת זה נשאר מקדשנו לא הואר. כת קטן, כת קטן לא נהיה בעולם בלי כוכב
Amigos de Shalom Tucumán, compartimos con ustedes imágenes de lo que fue la noche de coros en Hanukkah, tradicional noche de coros, muchos años realizándose, muchos años disfrutando de la música y de la buena compañía. Otro año más juntos, otro año más festejando Hanukkah con los acordes y las melodías, la música que traen nuestros amigos de los coros que nos visitan. Disfruten de la música y disfruten de las imágenes.
simboliza un milagro que sucedió hace mucho tiempo. Un poquito de aceite que tiene que durar para un día, duró 8 días. Esta es la parte anecdótica, la parte realmente trascendente, es la lucha del pueblo por su libertad. Y esto que suena a una historia de allá lejos y hace tiempo, nosotros sabemos que es la lucha diaria de toda la humanidad. Y si no luchamos como un pueblo, luchamos como personas para sentirnos libres, para poder soltar las cosas que nos retienen a muchas cosas, al pasado, a las cosas malas. Entonces, esta posibilidad de saber que una luz nos ilumina y nos dice que hay una esperanza mala, de luchar, de poder enfrentar a nuestros miedos, adversarios internos. Cada uno sabe que tenemos mucho de eso en nuestras vidas. Entonces es una cosa interesante, una oportunidad. Y es bueno que desde la fe, desde las creencias, nos digan que hay una oportunidad para nosotros de poder salir de donde estamos y pasar a una situación mejor.
que celebrar como cristianos la Navidad. Nosotros Hanukkah, juntos hay que brindar. En cada casa se arma un pesebre y se espera un niño que vuelve a nacer. Y en los hogares del pueblo judío durante 8 días velas van a arder. Difieren los festejos, pero eso no impide la unión. Por eso vaya esta canción como un signo de amor bajo el mismo amor. Feliz Hanukkah, rabino. Feliz Navidad, obispo. Volvemos a saludarnos, ya es la 4ª versión. Pan dulce y turrón y tal vez un lechón. Nosotros a puro aceite con 2 sufganiot. Feliz Navidad, obispo. Feliz Hanukkah, rabino. Celebremos el milagro del amigo en canción.
Feliz Navidad para todos.
Hanukkah Sameach y más en todo. Aquí vamos de vuelta, llegó el tiempo de celebrar.
To all our Jewish friends, neighbors, and relatives, wherever you are in the world, let me wish you a very happy Hanukkah. And there's every reason to be happy at this time of year. After all, quite aside from the joys of latkes and donuts, and I had the pleasure of baking a few myself when I visited Golders Green during the election campaign, who can argue with a festival where the kids get presents every day for more than a week? And it's time to celebrate not just the miracle of the oil, but also your unique identity. To pop the Hanukkah menorah in the window and say to the world, just as Judah and his small band of poorly equipped Maccabees said to Antiochus III and his mighty Greek army all those years ago, I am Jewish and I'm proud of it. And that's really important right now. Because I know that recent years have not been easy ones for British Jews. In the media, on the streets, and particularly online, anti-Semites have in alarming numbers been emboldened to crawl out from under their rocks and begin once again to spread their brand of noxious hatred far and wide. But as you kindle the Hanukkah light tonight, and in the nights to come, I want you to remember this. When the Maccabees drove the forces of darkness out of Jerusalem, they had to do so on their own. Today, as Britain's Jews seek to drive back the darkness of resurgent anti-Semitism, you have every decent person in this country fighting by your side. Because Britain would not be Britain without its Jewish community. And we will stand with you and celebrate with you at Hanukkah and all year round. Hag Hanukkah Sameach.
Imagine a group of people who work to destroy Italy because they claim Italy's origins are illegitimate. Imagine further that these people maintain that of all the countries in the world, only Italy doesn't deserve to exist. And then imagine that these people vigorously deny that they are anti-Italian. Would you believe them? Now substitute Israel for Italy, and you'll understand the dishonesty and absurdity of the argument that one could be anti-Zionist, that is, against the existence of a Jewish state, but not anti-Semitic. But that is precisely what anti-Zionists say. They argue that Israel's existence is illegitimate, They don't believe this of any other country in the world, no matter how bloody its origins. And then they get offended when they're accused of being anti-Semitic. How can they make this argument? First, they change the topic. They say it's unfair to charge those who merely criticize Israel with being anti-Semitic. But criticism of Israel is fine. Denying Israel's right to exist isn't. Anti-Zionism isn't criticism of Israel. Anti-Zionism is opposition to Israel's existence. Zionism is the name of the movement that advocates for the return of Jews to their historic homeland. Over the past 3,000 years, there were only two independent states located in what is called Israel. Both were Jewish states, and invaders destroyed both. No Arab or Muslim or any other country ever existed in that land, which was only named Palestine by the Romans to remove all memory of the Jewish state they destroyed in the year 70. Second, anti-Zionists claim they can't be anti-Jewish because Zionism has nothing to do with Judaism. That's equally false. It is the same as saying Italy has nothing to do with being Italian. Judaism has always consisted of three components: God, Torah, and Israel. If Israel isn't part of Judaism, neither is the Bible or God. Third, anti-Zionists claim that Judaism is only a religion, therefore Jews are only members of a religion, not a nation. But the Jews are called a nation more than 100 times in the Bible. That is why there can be irreligious, secular, and even atheist Jews, because Jews are not only a religion, they are also a people or a nation. There are no atheist Christians because Christianity is only a religion. Fourth, the anti-Zionists claim that Israel is illegitimate because it is racist. This is the fraudulent charge Israel haters and America haters make against two of the least racist societies in the world. Half of Israel's Jews are not even white, and anyone of any race or ethnicity can become a Jew. Plus, 1 of 5 Israelis isn't a Jew. And these Israeli citizens, mostly Arab Muslims, have the same rights as Jewish Israelis. As for Israel's control of the West Bank, that has nothing to do with race. Israel doesn't control the West Bank because Palestinians are of another race, but because Palestinians and their Arab allies tried to destroy Israel in 1967, and they lost the war. Palestinians have rejected offers to found their own state on 5 separate occasions since 1947. That's the only reason they don't have a state. And why have they always rejected building a Palestinian state? Because they have always been more interested in destroying the Jewish state. Finally, the anti-Zionists claim that Israel's origins are illegitimate. Of all the world's 200-plus countries, the only country anti-Zionists declare illegitimate is also the only Jewish one. That's pretty much all you need to know about their motives. Why, for example, don't they make this claim about Pakistan? In 1947, 9 months before the establishment of Israel, India was partitioned into a Muslim state, Pakistan, and a Hindu state, India. Unlike Israel, Pakistan had never existed before. Unlike Israel's founding, which created about 700,000 Jewish refugees from Arab lands and about 700,000 Arab refugees from what became Israel, the founding of Pakistan created about 7 million Muslim refugees from India and about 7 million Hindu refugees from Pakistan. And while the highest estimate of Arab deaths in the fighting that took place when Israel was established is 10,000, the number of deaths as a result of Pakistan's creation is around 1 million. So why is Israel's legitimacy challenged while Pakistan's isn't? There's only one answer. Israel is the one Jewish state. Of course, not all anti-Zionists hate all Jews. But if you seek to destroy Italy, you don't have to hate every Italian to be anti-Italian. If you seek to destroy the one Jewish state, you don't have to hate every Jew to be an anti-Semite. I'm Dennis Prager. Thank you for watching this video. To keep PragerU videos free, please consider making a tax-deductible donation.
Finaliza aquí un nuevo programa de Shalom Tucumán. Finaliza aquí nuestro encuentro semanal. Esperamos que hayan disfrutado tanto del programa como nosotros al hacerlo. Nos encontramos nuevamente la semana que viene. hasta entonces.
הגענו עד כאן עם השידור שלנו. ניפגש שוב בשבוע הבא. נתראה.